Before the video starts, please like our channel, subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. Thank you. The sun was sinking into the red desert horizon when Ethan Cole first noticed the two identical girls standing beside the old wooden fence that bordered the dusty highway, their long dark braids falling over their shoulders like matching ribbons, and their curious eyes following his pickup truck as he slowed down to avoid the herd of wild horses crossing the road. And he never could explain later why he stopped, because something about the twins felt intentional, like the universe had placed them there on purpose. And when he rolled down his window, they didn't look afraid or shy. They smiled as if they had been waiting for him specifically, and one of them said softly, "Mister, can you help us carry something home?" And Ethan, a former soldier who had been drifting town to town since losing his family years ago, felt an old forgotten sense of purpose rise in his chest, and he nodded without thinking, stepped out, and followed them through the tall grass and sand toward a distant cluster of canvas, tents and wooden homes, resting beneath the open sky. And along the way the twins talked excitedly about their mother who worked too hard, about how she never smiled anymore, about how the house felt too quiet. And Ethan listened politely, not knowing that every word they spoke was building a bridge toward a life he didn't know he was walking into. And when they reached the small home at the edge of the land, warm light glowed from the windows and the smell of bread drifted into the air, and the twins rushed inside shouting, "Mom, we brought someone." And a woman stepped out, calm, beautiful in a tired but dignified way, her eyes holding grief and strength at the same time. And she thanked Ethan for helping, invited him in for dinner out of kindness, and he accepted out of loneliness, not knowing this simple invitation would reshape everything. And as he sat at the table listening to the twins laugh and watching their mother quietly watch him with cautious curiosity, viewers can feel the invisible strings pulling the characters together. And if you're already feeling that pull too, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what happens next, because this is only the beginning. Over the following days, Ethan found himself returning again and again, sometimes bringing supplies, sometimes fixing broken boards, sometimes simply sitting on the porch listening to the desert wind with the twins, while their mother Lila worked nearby, and slowly the home felt less like a stop and more like a place. And what Ethan didn't realize was that the twins were carefully observing everything, noticing how their mother laughed a little more when he was there, how she stood straighter, how the shadows under her eyes softened, and the girls whispered to each other at night about how their mother deserved happiness again, how she deserved someone kind and steady, and how Ethan felt safe. And so they began their gentle plan, asking Ethan questions about his life, telling him stories about their mother's favorite flowers, arranging small moments where Ethan and Lila were alone together without making it obvious. And at first neither adult noticed, but slowly something grew between them like a seed in the sand that shouldn't have survived, but did anyway. And Ethan found himself caring, not in a sudden, overwhelming way, but in a deep, quiet way that felt real. And Lila found herself trusting again after years of carrying grief alone. And one evening under the stars, the twins asked Ethan directly, "Do you think people can start over?" And he answered honestly, "I think that's the only way we survive." And the girls smiled knowingly. And viewers watching this slow, emotional build can feel how carefully the story is weaving hearts together. And if this gentle emotional storytelling is something you enjoy, make sure you're subscribed, because stories like this are meant to be followed, not skipped. The moment everything became clear was the night the twins asked Ethan to stay for a celebration that wasn't really a celebration at all. Just lanterns hung on the porch, soft music from an old radio, and food prepared with more care than usual. And when Ethan arrived, he sensed something different, something intentional, and the twins led him to sit beside their mother and then disappeared inside, leaving the two adults alone under the open sky. And in that quiet space, Lila finally spoke the truth about her past, about her loss, about her fear of loving again. And Ethan spoke about his own loneliness and how he had never planned to stop here but somehow couldn't leave. And neither of them confessed love dramatically. There were no grand speeches, just two tired souls recognizing safety in each other. And when the twins returned, they looked from one face to the other and understood that their gentle plan had worked not because they forced it, but because they created space for healing. And the story ends not with a wedding or a promise, but with the beginning of one, with a sense of hope where there had been emptiness before, and as the camera would pull back from this moment, viewers are left with warmth, peace, and the reminder that sometimes the smallest invitations lead to the biggest changes. And if this story moved you even a little, if you felt connected to these characters and their journey, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you can continue exploring more stories about healing, family, and unexpected love together.